Before the curtain goes up, and the curtain is rocking up with the School of Rock. I am talking with Tracy Powers about her directing this remarkable show. Hello, Tracy.
Hi, David.
And this is the Theater Under the Stars. So we're gonna like blast the roof off of Stanley Park.
Yeah, well, that's the goal.
And thank goodness we don't have a roof there. Well, I
Yeah,
guess you have one over
exactly.
the stage. You have one over the stage. So
Totally.
tell us very quickly, because there was a movie and then it was made into a musical. It was a movie first, correct?
Yes, yes. Back in it was the Jack Black kind of, I can't remember, it was early 90s, I think, or late 80s. They all that era kind of blends together. Late 80s, early 90s.
Nice. And tell us the story of School of Rock, not School for
Sure, it's
Rock.
it's about Dewey Finn, who is big dreams to win the battle of the band and be a superstar, a rock superstar, and he's aging out of maybe superstar age, but he still has these big dreams and he's still kind of going for it, but he's not really making any money at it yet. And he's in his kind of mid 30s, and his roommates are kind of like, you might have to kind of grow up a little bit and contribute to rent. Those kind of adult things that we all have to kind of be responsible for. So he gets a phone call for a substitute teacher position at a school called Horace Green. But the phone call is for his roommate, Ned, not him. But it pays, this is how you know it was done in the early 90s, late 80s, $950 a week. So
Woo!
that's big money. And so he decides to take the position at this prestigious private school and go teach the kids in order to get this money to pay the rent, and then ultimately compete in the Battle of the Bands. So it's all about the Battle of the Bands. And of course, he gets the idea pretty early on that he can get these kids, his class, to perform in the Battle of Bands for him because they're all incredible musicians and singers. So that is the kind of the story, and the kids learn a bit about rock and roll and a bit about themselves, and maybe break out of the conservative nature of this private school, and he learns how to be responsible for 13 children.
Nice. So he grows up a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. But he
Now,
still gets to celebrate his love for music, and I think that's, he doesn't have to say goodbye to that. He just finds a different way to channel it.
this is like a good fit for you too, because you're all about the music.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely love doing shows that have music in them, and it's used in different ways, and it's a big
Now,
celebration.
now I have a question about this because I never saw the movie. I just know about it through cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
But uh, I assume that they did covers in the movie because they had to get the rights to different songs
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
in the movie. But when you're making a musical, then they have to write a whole bunch of songs so they don't
Hmm.
just go into the room and start singing a song. And I would also assume they lost the rights for some of the songs that were maybe featured in the movie, but they couldn't be featured in the show. What is it? A mix of songs and styles?
It's not. It's all, well, there's one. There's a little Stevie Nicks in there because, you can't cut Stevie Nicks. But it's all Andrew Lloyd Webber and Julian Fellows, who is the writer on Downton Abbey. He adapted the screenplay, but Webber's done an awesome job, like people can diss him in whatever ways they want, but he does write great music for women, and he's definitely given that character in the movie, who's the principal Rosalie Mullins, a stronger arc than is in the movie, which I think is, I'm gonna always celebrate and
Yeah.
champion. And but it's got a real good mix of kind of a rock sound. We've got the pit orchestra is a rock band. And so it's great to kind of fill it out that way, but it also allows for music to further the story, which is kind of musical theater at its at its best is when the songs are furthering the story. And yeah, it's just a great blend of adults and kids in the show. So it's, you know, the main focus definitely is kind of the class and Dewey, but also his roommate and his roommate's girlfriend. Like everybody has a part of this story, and I think they've really filled it out for everybody, so everybody feels kind of a part of this journey.
Nice. So, and you know what? I had no idea it was an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I remember reading a book a long time ago called Broadway Babies Say Goodnight, and one of the things that writer opined was Andrew Lloyd Webber's shows are not liked by musical theater people, but they are loved by audiences. And Sondheim's
Exactly.
the exact opposite. Sondheim shows are
Yeah,
often met with indifference by audiences because he comes from a cynical point of view.
yeah, yeah.
Musical theater people adore Sondheim.
Yeah, and you know, and he's populist, but I just did Jesus Christ Superstar, and I that's the first show he wrote, and it's like 20 or something. And it's an incredible piece to be a part of, and the audience is so moved, and we as the performers were moved. And so I think, you know, I think it's easy for us to be like, oh, Weber, because he's so populist, right? But
Right.
the thing
Yeah.
is that's also an incredible thing because he's writing shows that so many people relate to or are attracted to. And, you know, Sunset Boulevard, Evita, those are amazing shows for women. And I just kind of go, I don't know. I'm gonna go get on the Weber bandwagon. I love Sondheim as well. Like, and
They're just
but
different. They're just different.
they're totally different, totally
Not,
different. And
not one is better than the other.
no, no. And the challenge of Sondheim, I think, is what attracts us as artists, right? We're like, oh, because it's tricky and there's, you know, there's the stories are complex and but you know, I think you know some of those parts in Weber shows are just as complex. It's just the music is maybe not as detailed. But
I got
oh
to
my gosh, that's
I
absolutely right.
got to I got to see back when we were doing big mega musicals in Vancouver at the center. I got to
Yeah.
see Diane Carroll and Rex Smith do Sunset Boulevard.
Oh
And
wow.
Diane Carroll did my most favorite thing when it came time for the curtain call. She came out on the staircase and seemed surprised to see the audience. It was like she came out like she was had left her purse there. So she came out and she was like, "What?
Oh,
Oh, surely
amazing.
you heard us applauding. Surely you knew we were here." But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
we won't do any such phony things here. I'm going to give you a chance now to tell these people. You're going to look right in your camera and you're going
Okay.
to tell them why they should come to Theater Under the Stars and why they should see School of Rock. Uh, you know, they're like, oh, but I don't have a lot of disposable income right now, and oh, I don't know if I should go out, and what do we do? And you're going to tell them why they don't want to miss this.
Well, you want to be outside in the summertime. It's an exciting show. It's an exciting event, really. Like Tuts has become a kind of every summer event, and it's I think the city should be really proud of this company and the artists involved with it. And but it's just a ton of fun. Like this show is great for all ages, and what I love about it is, you know, my generation remembers the movie, but maybe the younger ones don't. And so, how do you know, it brings generations together, and we get to talk about music afterwards. And what better thing in the world than to talk about music and you know how it affects us and who we love and all that kind
Nice.
of yeah.
Nice. And if you can coordinate the bats and the fireflies that we get to see sometimes at the Theater and Stars, if you can coordinate them to loop to the music, that would be even
Oh my
cooler.
gosh, I've already choreographed it, David.
Well, thank you so much, Tracy. I'm looking forward to the show. Thank you for taking time